It's time for your weekly look ahead. Let's get it. G'day guys, it's Jimmy Trades. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Looking forward to the week ahead. We'll start on the calendar, but first of all, I do want to mention that 90% off with Apex. You have until tomorrow, it's Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to take advantage of that 90% off using code Jimmy, of course. You can get a 250K account and you can be funded for under $90. Probably the best deal Apex has ever run, to be honest. Also, Tradeify has 30% off for the month of September. So keep an eye on that if you want to go down the Tradeify route, code Jimmy Trades. So today, I won't be trading. We have a bank holiday. A good opportunity to take the day off, do some back testing, whatever it is you want to do. I'm not interested in trading today, being the bank holiday. So we have the bank holiday today, followed by a heavy week of news, which is great. High impact news every day of the week. 10 a.m. on Tuesday, 10 a.m. on Wednesday. And then we have the non-farm employment change, the ADP, on Thursday. And then we have non-farm payroll. This is the big one on Friday. So be excited to OSOC some accounts. If you're inclined to do so, you can grab some Apex accounts or Tradeify accounts, whatever you prefer, and you can OSOC on the news drop Friday. Be sure to be watching Day Trading Realtors stream. He will be having one because he's releasing some very exciting stuff. I'm very much looking forward to utilizing myself. So be sure to tune in to DTR's stream on Friday. You won't want to miss it. Okay, let's get rid of that. And we're just going to look, we're going to start today. We're going to look at the weekly chart here on NQ. Starting off the week, we've come down and we have swept out the low very slightly. Okay, ever so slightly, but we have swept out the low. So far, what I'm liking is that we are finding support on this order block here. And I do want to see the 50% of the equilibrium, or the equilibrium, I should say, of this buyer's wick supported. And I want to see this be respected and price, if we do move lower, that we find that support here. We can wick through this a little bit, but I want to see bodies stay above the equilibrium here, which will almost support this equilibrium of this down close candle here as well. So that's what I want to see for the weekly here on NQ. Let's see if we can target out new all-time highs. We know ES gobbled them up last week. NQ is a little bit behind. Let's have a look at ES. So ES, we can see there where we swept that previous all-time high, and we've created a new all-time high. Like NQ though, I do want to see these levels supported, preferably the equilibrium here of this buyer's wick. And I want to see that respected for a move higher. Let's have a look at YM. So YM, I'd like to see price moving higher here also. We have all-time highs over to the left here. But this would be the first target. We were an inside bar last week. All right. So price couldn't move out of the range of the previous week. Having a look at the buyer's wick that came in on last week's candle, I would also like to see the equilibrium respected here, which will then also support this order block here. And you can see, I like this move out of this bullish FEG here as well. It's quite clean. And then we got a closure above. So we had that change in state of delivery here. And we could also run our projections off here if we would like. And that'll give us a target area all the way up here of the -2 to 2.5 for price to reach towards. So I do like that for a setup, targeting all-time highs there. So, essentially bullish outlook for NQES and YM. Let's move over to oil. What is oil doing? At the moment, we are still finding support in this weekly bullish FVG or BISI. So we had a candle closure back inside the range here out of this bullish FVG, and then we can see we closed back inside the range, moving higher. And I'm just going to clear that off. Put that one back on. We're starting to get a bit of a move here. Last week was a fairly indecisive week. We pretty much opened and closed at the same level. So I'm looking for price. We've got this wick high up here that I'm looking for price to want to reach towards. And ideally, I want that confirmed with a closure above this opposing candle here. So I'd like to see a closure above this level here, and then we'll target these higher prices. So also looking bullish at first. The low-hanging fruit here is going to be previous week high. Then we can see how price reacts to that level. Moving over to gold. Gold just doing a great job, just continuing to push higher here. All-time highs are not that far away once again. And simply by the fact that we've, closed, had quite a strong close here last week, we've swept out these highs here now. I'd like to see previous week's equilibrium respected, and we continue to move higher off of that. So yeah, I'm looking for a bullish price action here on gold, looking to see new all-time highs. The daily has just continued to push higher here as well. We'll probably see a retrace. If we get a bullish closure today, then I'd look to see a price come back into this gap here before moving higher. You can see that we are building up this low resistance liquidity through here as well. So price is going to want to come back for that at some point. All right. Dixie has been a little bit flat, moving through this sideways. Essentially, we're in consolidation here at the moment. You can see that when we had this change in state of delivery here, so bearish change in state of delivery, we started to move higher. We couldn't push through this bearish FVG. We tried, then we closed back through, and we can see that level has been or continued to be respected. Even with this strong push here, the sellers came in and we've kept price under that level. Looking at that, I'm looking for probably lower prices here. We can see all these wicks, these sellers wicks here. That's what I'd be looking for. And if we run our projections off the high here, we can see that that price has come down into that -2 to 2.5 region. And we've got that consolidation at that level. We could see price go as low as that -4 once we break out. So if we break out to the downside here, we get a closure below that -2.5, and we can look for something like that. The weekly for 6E, the euro, could see that these down close candles here have supported price. Other than this wick here, we are really in this period of consolidation. So nothing too crazy has been happening here on 6E. But that to me is looking for supporting higher prices. Even the down close candle here, we haven't been able to close below that. Therefore, I'd like to see price reach up higher here. We've got a closure back inside the range. So we did sweep out the low of the previous week last week, and we closed back inside the range. And I'd look to see price do a similar thing, taking out the high here, maybe project higher through there. Pound now. Let's see, price is actually unable to break through this bearish FVG. We haven't been able to close through that. Again, indecision here. Bouncing off. We're stuck between PD arrays. So we found support on this down close candle, but also inside this bearish FVG. We've found resistance, and we are just bobbing around here. So we need to break out one way or the other. Let's see if we come down lower and respect that wick before moving higher. Jumping over to Bitcoin. Having a little bit of a pump today. Not getting too excited just yet, but we did sweep out the low, the previous week low. As we move higher, we'll see how price reacts at the equilibrium of the previous day. Sorry, the previous week. That's what we're going to be keeping an eye on. Do we push through this convincingly, or do we consolidate or react? At the moment, all these markings are actually from the daily, because that's what I normally look at. But we have found support on this series of down close. I'm including this bullish one because it's very indecisive. I'm just going to include all of that. To me, it's like a fractal move almost in that leg lower. And we are finding support. If we break through the equilibrium there of those down close candles, then I'll be getting concerned and looking for lower prices. Ethereum now. Needed a bit of a pullback. If you look at this, no different. We had this move higher, pull back, move higher, pull back. So I'm still looking for bullish prices for Ethereum or new all-time highs. Previous week was an inside bar again, but we did push out of this bullish FVG. So while that remains respected and supported, then I'll be continuing to look for higher prices. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in today. Hopefully you found this information helpful. If you did, please leave a comment, give the video a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Share the channel far and wide, guys. Appreciate all your support. Bye for now.